Brother RA again, and it's still May 16th, just about quarter to 12, and I got the link to my comment to the statement I made to my neighbors, and I'm going to try to play this for you right here, right now.
Some more of you. Sir, would you like to say something?
Good afternoon, folks. My primary concern is to introduce myself to my neighbors. All of you are my neighbors. I live at 34 Hubbard Ave, and I am, quote unquote, Reverend. I revere the end. And being that kind of esoteric, I reach out to the abstract, to the absolute. In talking about affordable housing, I am a thought provoker, and I instigate thought. And right now, affordable housing, we're still using dead slaveholders' images on cotton fibers and wood chips as a value. So if we could think about a different means of exchange as opposed to using what the colony of New England, of Old England, if we could change the value structure and value the undivided individual. What is it? Individual is an inwardly divided person. If we could get more people to become undivided individuals and we have a different means of exchange using much more of what our essence is as human beings. I mean, Black Lives Matter, but how many black neighbors do I have? I'm an heir. Thank you, Nana. I have the big yard, 34 Hubbard Ave, and I have two pieces, and I understand units. I'm a landlord too, and I have 3 units, and no, my rent isn't above $2,200. But I understand, yes, needing units, but we need something more than quote unquote dead slaveholders as an exchange unit. And for more information, brotherra.com is my website. Brother RA always has a lot to say, so I won't belabor the issue. But thank you so much, and for any commentaries or any conversation with me, brotherra62@gmail.com. Brotherra.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay.
Oh?
So.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to do it this way. Yeah, okay. And because I'm in this particular frame of mind and I'm doing this at this time, let me share more pictures, if you will. So, what is that? You know, genetic engineering, looking at the black woman on the table, and I don't know if you can actually see the people behind the covering, behind on this side here. There's other black folks peeking around to see what they're doing to the black woman. 3 doctors, or 1 doctor and 2 assistants, looking at the black woman on the table. Genetic inferiority. I question that. And I question what we value and our importance as this divine energy, a child of the sun. Being the child of the sun and understanding I and one are drawn in a particular way. And then, what is this? The first Church of Christ science. A scientist. First Church of Christ scientist. And then dealing with this particular image here. Can y'all see that? That is the Pope sucking the dick of a 8-day-old.
It looks like an awfully big 8-day-old, isn't it? How old are they when they're circumcised? But whether doesn't matter what day it is, that's the Pope, and that's a religion. That's Catholicism. Or is that Judaism? Or is that, Christ science? I don't know anything. And I'm just putting one and one together. How many images are there of various popes given fellatio? Shut up, all right. Okay, so dealing in that particular mindset and mind frame, here, I told you about this. Are we being cut up in our thought process? I shared that with you, the acts, and it's 6 minutes into this particular segment. So, with it being 6 minutes into the segment, 6, is that a 0 at the bottom of the stem? And will we ever make it to 7? So, if which we talked about the Pope and Christ science, and then all of a sudden here in this intellectual mecca of the world where they wish to put more niggers on top of niggers at the end of my street, they already have the 9-story Walden Square, and across the street from that they're going to put a 7-story, and now we're in COVID-19 during 2021, and this was an ad on the train. What does that say? Medical research hasn't always seen you. We're changing that. So what the fuck were them 3 white guys looking at if Western medicine or medical research hasn't always seen us? How far back does this type of miseducation, self-hate go? And here's a particular image for you. Let it come up. This used to be, genetic engineering. So there was once a council for responsible genetics in my neighborhood. The biogenetic capital of the world, the United Snakes. And so Catholicism, medical industry. So if all the media is owned, if all the institutions of higher learning are to oh, here's a good one for you. What's that? The date on that is 1620. That's Plymouth Rock. So did Plymouth Rock land on melanin dominant black people, and we just accept the axe training of the teacher and continue on this particular way? I don't think, not for Brother R.A. I'm moving beyond that particular thinking. Here's a thought. I'm saying I'm moving above and beyond Malcolm and Martin. You see, Malcolm's pointing think or see, and I'm moving at 9 minutes into this particular segment. I am seeing with my first eye and going into my divinity and understanding my greatness. So I showed you the First Church of Christ science, and where I became the minister. Can y'all see that? Union Baptist Church, built in 1882, remodeled in 1908, 1987, and 1997. So Union Baptist Church, that's where I am, quote unquote, a licensed minister. No, I didn't wish to become the pastor at that particular time. And I'm just going through the images I have here. Isn't that lovely? Donate your stool. Save lives. Earn money. Give us your shit. So in the last segment, I showed you giving semen, and now they're analyzing your feces, and this is all where? I'm talking about, right here at Harvard, MIT, the anchors of institutions of education being held down. Isn't an anchor like what keeps the ship still? And this is the intellectual mecca of the world. And so we're being held down in our stupidity, in our consciousness, and we're not accessing. No, we're going to allow the rock to continue to pounce on us. And I mean, experimentation. That's Emmett Till's face. What happened to that young man that caused his face to get burnt like that? That's his face in the casket. So I'm just thinking out loud and sharing some of my profound thoughts. What I got, 12 minutes in? And since I showed you the Bible gun and I showed you the minister, I showed you the Pope giving head to, this might be rather, that was the circumcision, and this is a young lady who's not circumcised, and I'm just going to share this as Reverend Richard Wilton Arthur Jr., going above and beyond being held down by the anchors of consciousness. And wait a minute, is that a clitoris that hasn't been severed? Is it possible to make our own decisions and do what is right for us? And I told you about spiritual pornography. So you see that there, and I'm just taking it a step as Reverend Richard, Brother R.A. I would rather a mouse on a female clit when she's an adult as opposed to on an infant. So can we go from Christ science to understanding who we are as divine energies, as the one? Are we really here? How do we understand or know or deal in our consciousness? Are we going to understand the ancestral link between A squared and B squared equals C squared as biological living light people? I, as melanin man, have assumed my stillness in my divinity and reach and access all of who I am, the substantial and insubstantial. How's that one drawn and how's that two drawn? Oh, wait a minute, there's the substantial side being seen, but yet the insubstantial or the converse side of the two is not. So I am yin and yang. And I am one and all. I am everything. I am the whole. The whole, like the sun is a galaxy,